Jahaan Sweet has been working super closely alongside both Drake and Travis Scott in recent years, and has helped produce multiple big hits for both artists, including K-pop, Fair Trade, and Mafia. However, even though Jahaan Sweet's name is commonly found among these big hip-hop critics, he is super underrated and is someone that people do not talk about enough in the music industry. Jahaan has had an insane year with his music this year, reaching 2.4 billion streams across all the songs he's produced. Jahaan has a very noticeable sample style. His catchy melodic piano samples are heard on songs such as Drowning and Mafia. Let's dive into the crazy samples of Jahaan Sweet and recreate two of our favorite samples from the go. First up, let's break down the 2021 hit from Travis Scott, Mafia, which of course has the catchy piano sample from Jahaan Sweet.
Cussing the vibe, cussing the link, cover the back of the lie.
This track came together super quick. It just came from Jahaan, frequent collaborator of mine, musical genius. Shout out to Jahaan.
The sample we created in the style of Mafia only contains 3 layers. However, it is the processing that gives it its unique character. Our first layer for the sample is a piano from Labs using the Grand preset. We played the piano in using the MIDI keyboard to give it a realistic feel. We just added these simple 3 effects to this first layer of piano just to clean up the sound to provide room for the second layer of piano we're about to add. The second layer of the sample is again another piano from Labs, but this time we're using a different preset. Again, playing this in using the MIDI keyboard. Here's what our second layer sounds like. Another super nice melody on that piano, and just an EQ and a reverb just cleaning up the sound of the piano. The next thing we did was merge those 2 pianos together into one track. You can do this by highlighting both tracks and click merge clips or consolidate. Using Jahaan Sweet's chopping up technique just like he did in Mafia, we did the exact same thing using Fruity Slicer. We pitched it up 5 semitones, and here's what the chop sounds like. You can already hear that Mafia style piano. We rendered out that chop and pitched it up another 5 semitones. We added a fruity delay to fill up the gaps a bit more. The last element to our sample is some strings from BBC Symphony Orchestra. We used the preset Celli and added a reverb and EQ onto it. So here's what the strings sound like. Here's the final sample with the strings and both piano layers. In terms of the drums, the main thing that made Mafia super unique was the 808 bounce.
I really kind of just liked that bop. I was like, this is really good.
Lastly, we sped the whole project up 4 BPM to 110. We copied the same intro as they did in Mafia for the first 2 bars. And now all together, here's our take on how Mafia was created by Jahaan Sweet and Boy Wonder.
That one turned out crazy. Next up, let's recreate the Drake track Final Fantasy, which has our favorite Jahaan Sweet sample right now.
I need it nasty like Evil Angel, like Vivid. You know nasty like how they give it.
The first thing we did was recreate that harp sound that Jahaan Sweet used, which we did using this guitar here, in which I sat down and recorded for about 10 minutes doing random phrases, broken chords, and accents. From that big 10-minute recording, Sean chopped it up, took all the best parts from it, layered them, and came up with these 4 bars. We added these simple effects to clean it up a little bit and made that bass accent by simply pitching down a guitar note I played a whole octave down and just added an effect rack. We merged all those guitar layers into one track, put it into Fruity Slicer, and pitched it up 3 semitones. Here's what the chop sounds like. As you've seen, we've used Slice X twice in this video for the Mafia sample as well. This is because Jahaan Sweet likes to incorporate that choppy bounce into his samples. Next, we added a vocal which we recorded in using this mic here. We added this stack of effects to give it a reverb sound and selected these chops. We rendered that vocal out, pitched it down 2 semitones, and added these effects onto it to give it an underwater effect. Next, to give the sample some depth, we played in a pad using the MIDI keyboard back here, and we used this Analog Labs preset. No effects on this one, this is what it sounds like. The last thing we did to this sample was slow it down by 3 BPM. Here's the final sample. To complete the Final Fantasy remake, we added that kick and clap drum bounce just like in Final Fantasy. That's all the layers to our Final Fantasy remake. Here's the final product. Boys, follow us on Instagram if you're not already. Cheers for watching. We'll see you on the next one.